Welcome, guys, to the Brand Identity Design Business Podcast. My name is Jason. I'm your host for today's show. And today we're going to be having a very, very exciting episode about Microsoft Office 365 with Sharon Gordon. Before we actually continue with this conversation, I want to actually make a quick few announcements. The very first announcement I want to make is that season 4, which I'm currently doing, will be coming to an end around mid October 2023. The reason I'm highlighting this is because if any of you folks who are listening, either on Spotify, Apple, Google, or any syndicated platforms or any audio event based platforms like LinkedIn, if you want to be a guest on my show, the process is very simple. You can actually join the waitlist. So if you click on view event details, if you go onto my website, you should be able to find the process of how to become a guest. There is a small waitlist link which you just have to fill in. My team would review your profile, just ensure that it's like a good fit for what I bring into the table and what you bring into the table. As long as we are a good match for one another, I don't see any hiccups for you being a guest on my show. Season 5 will begin from January of 2024. I'm keeping the links open. If you can't find the links, just DM me the word guest on LinkedIn, Instagram, Twitter, any platforms. I would be happy to forward you those links so that you can take all those necessary actions. The second thing which I want to highlight is that I have a very exclusive guest who I would be interviewing, and this would be done on August, which is next month, August 16th, 2023. At 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I'm going to be interviewing Donald Ziraldo, a renowned figure in the Canadian wine industry, widely recognized for pioneering and contributing towards the putting the Canadian wines on the world map. He founded Inskillen Wines. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Inskillen Wines in 1975. It became like a household name in the leading wine producer in Canada. Under his leadership skills, he has won more than 30 awards internationally, including the prestigious award Grand Prix d'Honneur. I don't know how the French guys pronounce it, at Vinexpo in Bordeaux, France, and a lot of other interesting things. If you're interested in being a part of that event, it's going to be actually done through video as well as audio. The link should be under the event details. You can go under the event details for this specific event, and you should be able to find it. People who are actually interested in coming up on stage and being a part of this contribution, becoming a part of this conversation, please kindly be patient. So Stephen, please be patient. The Q&A section will start only after 45 minutes. Till that time, you would have to hold your horses so that we can continue with the interview. So Sharon, so I am very glad. Thank you so much, Sharon, for accepting my invitation to be a guest on my show. Shout out to Mildred, who actually recommended or who did the introduction with you. She is freaking awesome. So today's episode is mastering about Microsoft Office 365. She's a renowned expert in Office 365. We are deep diving into the world of Microsoft powerful productivity suite. Sharon will share her extensive knowledge, practical insights on how to make the most out of Office 365 in day-to-day operations. Now, whether you are an Office 365 beginner looking to get started or an experienced user seeking to enhance your skills, this episode will be packed with a lot of practical advice, real-world examples, and expert guidance that will empower you to become a true master of Microsoft Office 365. When I say you become fully a master, what I mean to say is that you'll hear the episode, you'll take advantage of the episode by reaching out to Sharon, taking her much more professional help. In the process, you'll master the whole thing. That's what I'm trying to say. Now, if you don't know who Sharon is, like I said, she's a renowned Office 365 expert, a digital change advocate with over 40 plus years of experience in education and technology. Sharon is also certified COLF. I had no idea what this meant. It's Certified Online Learning Facilitator. And she's also certified and TAP. TAP is Training Accreditation Program. and Moss, which is Microsoft Office Specialist. She has helped individuals and organizations to optimize Microsoft Office 365 users through engaging training and tailored resources. I wanted to give a shout out to Sharon. Thank you. Thank you so much for being a part of this podcast, and I'm so excited to interview you and learn about Microsoft Office 365. Welcome. Welcome, Sharon.
Thank you. Wow. I'm honored, Jason. What an introduction. Thank you for that. And
I'm
thank you
glad you
for
liked it.
everyone.
It was spontaneous. I did not practice. It was spontaneous. I was just reading stuff.
Brilliant. Thank you. No,
Awesome,
yeah,
awesome, awesome.
I'm
I
honored to
see. I
be
see my
here.
good friend Felicia who has joined. Thank you so much, Felicia. Long time we have actually spoken. So nice to see you. All right, so let's actually
Oh.
begin. I know people are here for the juicy side of this conversation. So now we kind of know, Sharon, that Office
Mhm,
365 has
mhm,
become an internal part of the modern workplace, right? Transforming the way businesses operate and collaborate. Many
mhm.
organizations, I assume, are realizing the immense potential it offers, streamlining day to day operations, boosting productivity. I would like to personally know your thoughts. What are some key benefits these organizations gain from mastering Microsoft Office 365 into their day to day operation?
Um, the main thing that brings to mind, comes to my mind, is the collaboration you can have with your colleagues. So, you're all in the same organization, you want to look at documents, you want to, work on documents together, you want to read the same similar emails, etc., and just be on top of your day-to-day work. So I think collaboration and the easy collaboration with colleagues. So that's things like, um, if you've got a document, whether it's Excel spreadsheet or a Word document or something that you've been working on, and you want someone to have a look at it and comment. If you've got it in Office 365, you can, anyone who needs to and wants to, can edit the document at the same time. Now, I must admit, when I first experienced that, it was really strange seeing someone else in the same document as me, and I could see their little picture at the top right hand side, and then a little coloured button would come up when they were editing it. And I thought, well, I've just put that in. Why are they taking it out? Um, but I what I got to understand was that it made life so much easier because we didn't have, thousands of copies, or maybe that's a slight exaggeration, but we didn't have like, 10, 15 copies of the same document, and nobody knew where we were. We didn't know who'd done what, who'd made what edits, and why they'd made them, why they'd removed ours. So it's nice that we're able to all get into the document at the same time if we can get ourselves out of our calendars and at the same meeting at the same time, to be able to edit the document at the same time and agree those changes and make those changes together, rather than having to wait for someone to make a change and then wait for them to come back to you with their own changes or something like that. So I think being able to collaborate with colleagues is a good thing, and having access to the all the things that you need as a team. You need to work on as a team. If someone does something, creates a document on not of there, someone else can pick it up and work on it, or and things like that. But I think the big word for me is collaboration with your colleagues. Yeah.
Well, that makes a lot of sense. Okay, so what you're trying to
Mm.
say, like traditionally, I've been using Word, like I would open
Hmm.
up something, write, document something, save it, and I'll forward it to my clients. Or let's say I'm forwarding it to you. You go through
Hmm.
it and you would suggest, like, this is not right. Let's fix this. Can you do this? You send that same document to me. I go ahead, change it. I send it back to you. So there was a lot of exchange happening, and in during the process maybe data can get lost, maybe typos can happen,
Hmm.
things can become messy, too many email threads happening at the same time, you don't know which one is the final document. So what you're trying to say is
Absolutely.
that if you use the Microsoft Office suite completely, and if you have
Hmm.
something which has like a cloud-based connective,
Hmm.
is that the right term? I don't know. That would help you to
Yeah.
work on the document real time, and you would not have to do that
Yeah.
exchange thing. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. So OneDrive is an application that it's up there in the cloud. I say up there in the cloud. I don't do technical speak, so you're going to have to walk with me on this one. I speak in very laywoman's terms because I don't think anything needs to be labeled in a complicated way for people to understand. And that's one of the things that when I became a trainer, I wanted to speak in plain English, in an easy language that people could understand. And you don't have to label everything with a technical term because not everybody gets it. And I'm still trying to get my head around some technical terms as well. So I wouldn't inflict that on other people. So OneDrive is a way that you can upload your documents to the cloud, and you can share whatever you have in there with other people, which means that there's only ever one document that you're working on. With emails and that, what I've found is you'll email, as you were saying, Jason, documents get emailed back and forth. Somebody makes another copy of it. They can't remember where they saved it. Or people do the classic, they open it up from the email and they don't save it. They go ahead and start editing it. And an hour or so later, they close it and attach it to an email, which I think is their edited document. But unfortunately, because I haven't saved it from the email, it hasn't saved any of the changes. So all of that work for an hour has just gone poof, which is not a good thing. So always, one of my bits of advice is always save your document out of your email first to a location that you can find it and then go ahead and edit it. So being able to, I went off on a tangent, didn't I? Sorry. I lost my train of thought. I was in my own world. Sorry, babes. Just telling you off there. It
Well,
reminds
that's
me,
okay. It's
Jason.
okay.
Sorry.
I'm just wondering. Okay, I'm just wondering. Okay, I'm not doing a comparison. I still use a lot of Microsoft-based applications for my day-to-day work, like Excel being one of them. I heavily use Excel for my projects, dealing with my clients. Okay, so I get what you're trying to say. My question is, okay, now Google also offers a lot of applications, right? Free ones.
I was going to say there is I have found recently, and I've been investigating this with Google. Sorry to jump in there, Jason, but I have found that Google have got quite a nice suite of comparable applications that are online that is available for people to use. And no, it isn't Microsoft. However, it's serving a purpose, and it's quite easy. What I've noticed, it's easy to manage and navigate. So yeah, again, it's an online um, tool that you can use, and yeah, it's readily available to anyone who wants to use it.
Yeah, yeah, and I appreciate you bringing that point. My
Mm,
question would be, Sharon, like, why would somebody would transition from something which is offered by Google? It's kind of the same. I would not say that
mm,
it has all the features jam packed like what a Word would offer or an Excel would offer. Okay, everything,
mm,
but at least it has some proportion of it. At least you can
mm-hmm.
operate on it. Why would
Yep.
somebody transition and just use Microsoft Office and OneDrive completely? What would be the point that would make a person lean to that direction? If you get my question.
Hmm. Well, I suppose Google is a Google is known for searching, on the web. Ask it a question, it'll listen into your conversation and answer you. Um, Microsoft Office is a long established um, provider of software, and they're always making great strides into improving the applications that they have and the services that they offer, and both business and personal. you can use their applications quite easily. And we're all quite, I think a lot of us are now quite comfortable with using Microsoft and used to it. So going to Google, which has slightly less, and I'm not taking it away from Google, that that it has slightly less functionality, it may not fit so well. And there's about how many applications in the software suite for Microsoft? I think I counted 20 last time I looked, and it's going to rise because Microsoft are always, as I said, improving and adding more applications and improving the applications that they have. But I think for someone starting out, Google is a nice start. It's a good start, and it's an easy start for you to get used to that kind of collaboration that you want to be working online with someone, an editor being able to edit the same documents or work on the same documents with them or access, those specific areas. But you've got in Microsoft, you've got it's got everything. It's got your Teams. You can share documents in Teams. You can have meetings in Teams. Yes, you've got Google Meet and things like that. I think in an enterprise, in an environment where it's a large organization, being able to use Teams, which is part of the Office suite, it just makes life a little bit easier for you in sharing documents that way through SharePoint, etc., etc. It's yeah.
I think that's one of the reasons why these technology companies like Google, Microsoft, Apple, they have their own suite of docs, sheets, and other stuff, because they want to keep you under that ecosystem, and they make pretty much all applications accessible within that ecosystem so that you don't move out. So I understand what you're trying to say personally.
And that's what Microsoft are doing as well.
Yeah.
They want to do whatever they can to keep you. So they're going to sweeten the pot every so often. Look what we've got. It's better than Apple. Look what we've got. It's better than Google. And this is a business. However you look at it, it's a business. And if they can retain as many people as possible, and if they've got an organization, we're not talking like just you and I, single individuals. We've also got large organizations who are using it.
Absolutely, absolutely. Let's talk about transitioning. I'm assuming business owners who who would like to transition to Office 365. Maybe they are growing as a business. Okay, maybe the basic Google Docs or Google Sheets, those stuff which they were using, has been saturated. Maybe they need slight more complexities, so they want to transition. Okay, I'm assuming this transition process is definitely not going to be easy. Okay, what are some challenges have you personally observed as an expert helping organizations to transition between two different suites, like let's say Apple or let's say Google, and transitioning to Microsoft, and how do you help them to overcome these hurdles?
The first thing is talking about what you're doing at the moment, what you're using at the moment, what your day-to-day looks like, and then going to the other end and talking about what is it you want to be able to do, what is it you're hoping to be able to do, why are you looking to move from the software that you've got, and what is it you want to, your staff, what do you want to do, what do you want your staff to be able to do? If we're looking, if we're talking about an organization, what is it exactly you want everyone to be able to do? And then look at what the applications are there and how they can fit together. Because though Microsoft have got a lot of applications in the suite, it doesn't mean you have to use them all. You just need to use the ones that are relevant to you, that will help you to do what you need to do, and then you can bring the other ones on board when you need them. Talking, because part of my role, as it were, and the jobs that I've done are to do with change and helping people to change or make change and implement change and do that as smoothly as possible. And there's always, those who are, dragged kicking and screaming to use new software because they don't want to. They've been using something for, 10, 15, maybe 20 plus years, so they don't see why they need to change it. I think the main thing for me is to talk to those key people who are going to be impacted by the transition to a different piece of software. Find out what your people do on a day-to-day. What is it that they are doing, not what you think they're doing. Find out what they're doing and what they will need to do. Because there's no point you know, the powers that be and those at the top picking a piece of software, choosing a piece of software and saying this is what you've got to use. And then there's resistance against it. So talk to those key people, see what they're doing and what they need to do, and if they have any ideas. I think that probably works better on a slightly smaller scale. So if we're talking Microsoft, if Microsoft going to switch to, Google or something like that, which is not going to happen, that would be a lot of people to talk to. So it may not work in that circumstance. So
Bill Gates
where
would be
you
like,
can,
in your dreams, like, I am not going
yeah,
to.
absolutely, yeah. Because if there's any Microsoft people on the call at the moment, forgive me for suggesting that. But this is a cutthroat business. So these things happen. The takeovers happen all the time. So never say never, eh? Yeah. Mm.
And I
I
appreciate you
think
sharing.
definite engagement with the people who are going to be using the software, who are going to need to be using it day to day. Engage with those people. Don't leave them out there in the cold outside, banging down the door asking you what's going on, because that change isn't going to go well. It never does.
Yeah, that makes sense. That
Mm.
makes sense. So, how many applications is there inside this Microsoft 365 roughly?
As I said, I think I've counted maybe 20, 21, the last count,
Ooh.
and I'm sure Microsoft are going to be made an announcement they're going to be adding to it, but there's so many there. So this is what I'm saying. There's a lot of applications for people to use, but you probably wouldn't use half of them. It really
Yeah,
depends on
I had no
what
idea
you
they had 20.
right.
The only thing which I remember personally is Word, Excel, PowerPoint,
PowerPoint,
Outlook.
Outlook. Yep.
That's it.
There's OneNote. No one knows OneNote. What's wrong with OneNote? What's
Mm.
OneNote? OneNote, OneDrive,
Mm-hmm.
SharePoint Teams, bookings, forms, planner.
Wow.
There's there's a lot of those out there. But I mean, and the reason people probably don't know about them is because they're not using them. They don't think they need to use them. They're using something else.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there are a lot
If
of
you
applications. Okay.
uh,
So
uh-huh.
let's talk about that. Okay. Let's talk about that. Okay. This is a
Mm,
very interesting point. So Office 365 comes with like a treasure chest of 20 plus applications and tools, which helps you to elevate your productivity.
mm-hmm,
Okay, do better collaborations within organizations, stuff like that. So there is a lot of possibilities which are going on.
mm-hmm,
Okay, according to you,
mm-hmm,
which one do you find the
mm-hmm.
most underutilized by organizations? Could you name some of those applications, and why do you believe it has such untapped potential?
The first one that when I found out about it, I thought, oh, this is brilliant. It's bookings, and it's a bit like Calendly, like an online calendar, but it's all within the Microsoft suite, and it's there and integrates with your Outlook calendar. Um, I liked it. It was simple to use, and this is my thing. Nothing needs to be complicated, because that will just means that nobody or less people will want to use it, or they'll just mess it up when they do use it. So if you want to keep it simple, um, let's utilize the applications you've got in your armor, in your toolkit, as it were. Bookings is in there, and you can use that, and that's quite adequate for you to make bookings or people to make bookings of you, and it goes straight into your Outlook calendar, and it's all good to go. Forms, um, uh, not sure many people use that. You can, it's like a SurveyMonkey and those other ones out there. Again, it's adequate for what you need to do, but it's in there, and it's within the suite. So why go outside of Microsoft if that is there for you? The thing is, you're paying for this package. Yeah, you're paying for these applications. You've bought what you bought out of it. And so why not use it? And use as many as you can before you go off and buy something else that is not in the suite and is going to cost you, more money.
There's a great point
Mm,
which you made. So, bookings and forms being one of those underutilized applications. So, let's take
mm,
this for analysis. Now, you have gone through my process of becoming a guest right from the
mhm,
beginning, like onboarding you, guiding you, making you fill out that lengthy form, which I did. Okay, so
mhm,
so apart from so let's take, okay, step one. When I ask you to book
mhm,
using Calendly, so I could have used bookings, uh,
mhm.
and you could have done the exact same thing. Would we have been able to achieve the exact same outcome if we would have used bookings and forms? The same thing which I
From,
did with the free ones.
from what I saw, yeah, how I've used bookings a few times for a previous client of mine, and yeah, it worked fine.
Mm. Okay, okay.
It,
I
it
think it's.
wasn't. It wasn't. I mean,
Uh huh.
Calendly isn't. It's not complicated, but neither is bookings.
Uh huh.
And I don't know if you don't. I mean, Calendly has there might be a free version of it, or
Yeah, I'm using the free version. I don't
um,
want to pay them any money.
yeah.
Yeah,
But if
just
you,
I just need
sometimes
one
you don't
calendar.
get the functionality. Right? Yeah. hmm You don't always get the functionality that you want.
Yeah,
So.
I agree that if you want to send out like reminder
Mm,
emails or text messages, those are only available
mm,
with the paid option. If you ask me,
mm,
Sharon,
mm,
like I think the only reason why an average human being, when I say an average human being, like
mm,
somebody who uses computer and some of those applications for their day-to-day work, okay, it doesn't have any
mm,
complex tasks, would not end up going ahead with the Microsoft suite, because it's like a suite which you have to keep renewing every year. How much does it
mm.
cost a year roughly?
It depends on what package you have, but you can pay it monthly. As a business, you can pay for it yearly. It's up to you, and as a business, I think you get your discounts as to what you need to pay. It really depends on um what you have.
So let's say if you go ahead with the whole 21 or 20 plus applications, the whole thing. Okay, we want the whole ecosystem. How much does that cost?
Mhm, mm. It do-
Microsoft.
it
I'm
was
gonna also Google this. Microsoft Office 365 ecosystem. Buy.
ecosystem.
Okay, I
You've
would
got
just.
you got your basic pack, your basic package, but then you've got your family package where you can share it with a couple of members of your family,
Mm-hmm.
um, and stuff like, with the business. You can. I remember was that years ago when I used to work at a law firm. I used to get a discount for staff through if we went through Microsoft and purchased the application. But then those days, and I'm going to show my age here, we used to get it on we used to get it on a CD, and we could purchase the application for our own home use. Um,
Okay.
but, yeah, but you got licenses depending on where you go for. You can get a license
It's not.
up
Oh,
to
okay.
five
So
users
it's
for
not
about
too
30 odd
expensive.
quid.
I think I found the figures.
No,
It's ninety
no.
nine dollars, 99, 90, 100
Mm,
bucks,
mm,
100 bucks US per
hmm
year. Is best value because you can share this with 2 to 6 people. That's not expensive. That's all
Yeah,
right.
and you can you also maybe maybe 40 30 40 pounds for a license for, let's say, about 5 people, and you get a few terabytes of space with it.
Holy shit! It states that you can get about 6 terabytes of cloud storage. So if you have 6 individuals who are sharing that $100 fee, one
Right.
terabyte per person.
And terabyte is nothing. It's not. That's not mean, is it?
Yeah, now I
It's
understand
not mean.
why OneDrive
Yeah.
makes sense.
Right. You can share. So for the there's you can get this is Microsoft is not just for business, plus it's family as well. So you can get a family package for like what, £80-ish a year. And with that, you'll get, your Word, your Excel, PowerPoint, OneNote. OneNote comes in it. Outlook.
Outlook, yeah. I think in US it shows $69.99. So around $70 a year.
Yeah. Or you can opt for, even though you can opt for doing it monthly. If you don't want to pay the yearly application, you do it monthly. And then you've got the a personal one, which is again slightly different for that, where it's just for one person, but it will cost you about £60. So you've got to look at the ramifications of that and the cost, your budget, as it were. For business, you're talking, you can really go to town with that, because it can be about, I don't know, £9-10 a month per user. And you get the desktop version of the app, because with 365, what you've got to remember is sometimes, depending on the application, on the package you get, you may only have it, the cloud version of it, but I think with the halfway through, how can I say, the middle to top packet, you'll get the desktop version of it as well, if you pay a little bit extra. Plus, as you said, your terabyte of cloud storage, and you get some security on there, and obviously you get support if you want support and that kind of thing there.
Yeah, I personally thought it was expensive than this. So like $100
More expensive
is,
than
yeah, $100 is cheap. Like, and I don't think it's too expensive. In fact, on the US Microsoft.us, Microsoft.com US, it shows if you are a student, okay, you can get it for $24 a year, like $2 a month.
Right, absolutely.
That's even cheap. Like.
And you can use that. You see, you can access it, on your laptop, on your your phone, your iPad. You can use it all over the place. OneNote, particularly if you've got to make notes and stuff like that, you can synchronize that across your devices, so you can use it anywhere.
Okay, I've been hearing about this OneNote thing from you for quite some time. Sharon, would you mind telling us?
Oh, sorry.
What does this OneNote do? Like, is it just a note-taking application? Does it have any other purpose? Like, who is it used for? Like,
okay, so one scenario that I was in, I was rolling out. We was rolling out Windows 10 and some new laptops to some. I think this was in my legal days. So to some law firms and some legal eagles, and they hadn't heard about OneNote. We're showing them, Windows and all that kind of stuff, but then we told them about OneNote. And one of the things that we pulled out as a win that they would, definitely want to know about is how, by using OneNote, they could edit and mark up a PDF document. I couldn't believe the excitement on some of their faces when they found out that they could just bring in a document as a PDF into their OneNote screen, and they then would be able to use because I think at the time they had what we call a stylus pen, and they could actually write on that document on the screen, and they were there in their element. They loved it. I thought it was amazing. I think that was back before PDF allowed you to
sign the documents and stuff like that.
And stuff like that, yeah. So they could mark up, put big red lines and circles around things, and say, no, I don't want this clause in, take this clause out, and that kind of stuff. So yeah, that there was they absolutely love that. But also, if they were en route to a meeting and they wanted to get some ideas, scribble some stuff down in their head, they would do so, or they could do so on their work mobile phones, because they didn't have Wi-Fi for the laptop or whatever reason. But when they got to their destination and they opened up their laptop, what they'd been working on their phone in OneNote would synchronize with their laptop, so they were able to open it up and say, look, this is what I've been working on in the hour that I've been on the train. What do you think about it? Mm.
That makes sense. That makes sense. I have, okay, a kind of a funny question. Okay, this is just in my head.
Yes, it is a glorified notebook. It is kind of a glorified notebook. Yeah. So it's
Okay,
not
like,
actual pen and paper, but
okay,
it's yeah, it's got that concept. Go on,
okay.
ask
So
me.
my question is, okay, so I work with many
Mhm.
corporate companies. Okay,
Mhm.
before getting into business, and I've
Mhm.
always noticed that they have like a pretty old gen Microsoft applications installed on their computer, and the entire organization uses that
Mhm.
a little old and outdated version. They don't have the most latest one with them. Is there a
Mhm.
reason
Mhm.
why a company would not want to have the most updated Word, Excel, or 365? Why would they stick to an older version? What would be their motivation behind it? I just want to know personally, because I it used to really
Okay.
suck because I was
Mhm.
using the newer version and the old one did not really have that feature or those shortcuts. It used to exhaust me out. I had to unlearn
Mm.
and find the longer route. So, what would be the reason why they stick around
People
with
would
these old?
stay with the.
Yeah.
I can't understand why there would be a reason. The only thing I would say was comfortability. They're comfortable with um, oh, what they're what they're using. Oh, they're comfortable with what they're using. Apologies for that. I thought that was on silent. Um, they don't want to. They don't want to change for anything else. However, they're losing out on the functionality of what they can do. Um, with that stuff. I mean, if they're afraid of learning something new, don't be. Don't be, ask someone to show you. And there's always a benefit to learning. That's how I think about learning. I'm always learning things. There's always a benefit to learning. So learn. Let someone give you some information.
Mm. I'm guessing. Okay, this is just my personal guess. Okay, I'm
Hmm.
guessing they want to save on server space and they want to keep the computer working at an optimum speed, and they don't want these background applications to either reduce the internet consumption to perform a certain task. Maybe that could be one of the reason why they may use
Yeah.
a light version, not like the high end one, not the one which takes like a gig to install and start up,
Hmm. Hmm.
stuff like that. It's just
I
my
hear that.
could be.
Yeah. I hear that. I get it. I get it. I understand. Mm.
All right, all right, all right. Okay, so I want to actually speak about Yammer or Yammer. I don't know the exact pronunciation, but I came to know while I was prepping up for this interview, while I was
Hmm.
accumulating information which I can ask you. So I believe that Microsoft has something called as Yammer or Yammer. It's one of
Hmm.
a social networking style
Hmm.
thing. Okay,
Hmm.
could first of all, would you mind helping us understand what is this application for? What does it do, and how does it help in connecting people in the modern workplace, helping them with better communication and collaboration?
Um, well, so yeah, Yam is like your internal Facebook, um, Facebook, Twitter, in there, in within your organization. It's inside. It's secure because people can't. Well, I hope not. Not that I've seen that people can't clone your account like your Facebook. They can, um, you know, clone your account, and as happened to me and a couple of friends of mine on Instagram, that accounts have
Okay, so
been
all are verified accounts, like with
It,
Yammer.
yeah, it's
You will by default get the blue check, blue tick.
yeah. So and it's a way of different teams to communicate with each other, share information with each other, within their team. So different departments can have their own Yammer page. and they can, share information of what's going on internally for them, and things like that. So I think it's a nice thing to have, and it's a good way of engaging with other team members, because sometimes your team might be a small group. It might quite well be a big group, as in it's overseas, it's international, it's global. So connecting with your colleagues in an international setting, in a global setting, can be quite difficult. But having Yammer at your fingertips, I think, is a nice thing to have. Mm.
I like the fact that your organization can have its own social media, so Microsoft makes that happen. So I think that's pretty cool. Okay,
Mm,
so you can share and send pictures and memes. Is it like you do it
mm.
on others? Okay, so that's really cool.
Yeah. The one thing I will say though is that Microsoft has this, they rename things. So I think Yammer might be picking up, or has picked up, a new name called
Oh, is it Flow?
Viva Engage.
Wow, they should really
I
work on the
know.
naming part. I'm just saying, like, why would you name something like Yammer? Hey, are you been on Yammer?
Yeah,
I yammed you.
I'm not. But yeah, I'm not sure where that came from. I never did ask the question, I have to say. But yeah, I suspect they've renamed it. Flow is another one that I've heard of, um, which they've is a new name for something, isn't it?
Yeah, I've heard
I
about
can't keep
Flow. I
up.
have
I'm
no
trying to
idea what
keep
it
up with
does. Like, I've been hearing all these application names for the first time. To be quite
it.
honest with you.
Mm,
Okay, let
mm-hmm,
me let me ask you, Sharon. Like,
mm,
so let's assume that you have helped an organization transition, okay,
mm-hmm,
to Microsoft
mm-hmm,
based applications. Now, the organization might expect to do something out of these applications, like these suites. Okay, let's take by
mm-hmm,
Word, they may have something which they want to achieve. Let's take Excel, they may want to achieve something out of it. Do you
mm-hmm.
help them to create those systematics or SOPs in place, or do you help them to understand how to use the application to achieve it? Like, for example, would you end up creating
Mm.
sheets, spreadsheets? Would you design all of these things based on their needs while you're helping clients transition?
Yeah, that's part of my role, is to keep myself up to date with
Uh-huh.
what's changing, with the knowledge that I have of my clients. Because if I'd had a conversation, I'd help them to transition at the first hurdle. They've gone on to the Microsoft suite, and they've been using that for a little while. Um, and we've had a conversation since then to say, well, look, they'd like to um, upgrade, and what would my recommendations be? Again, I'd have to have a conversation. What exactly are you looking to do? Or I may say, I've seen this improvement or this change to an application that you're using, and I think it might be beneficial to you. But that's me keeping in touch and in contact with my client. I know where they've been, I know where they're coming from, and I have an idea of where they're going to. But touching base
Mm.
with my clients all the time, and knowing, or being aware of what they may need, is very important.
Okay,
It is, it
okay.
is, it's very important.
So, so for an example,
Mm,
let's say that they have, okay, let's say an organization has a big dump of data,
mm-hmm,
and you speak with the IT person or whoever is in charge, the head, and these guys
mm-hmm,
want to transition to Microsoft, okay, and they are bringing this
mm-hmm.
dump along with them, okay, this huge amount of data. So
They've
what you
got,
would
yeah.
do,
So it's
uh,
pure
uh
data. They want to make sure. Right. Okay. Okay.
yeah, so and
Mm-hmm.
and 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 their expectation is that we want to utilize this data okay,
Mhm.
and we want to, let's say, formulate something and figure something out. So while you
Mhm.
help organizations to transition from from regular apps or basic apps or another
Mhm.
ecosystem completely to Microsoft, but you would also
Mhm.
help them and train them how to end up using that data to achieve that outcome. You will guide them. There might be trainings which will be done from your end. Maybe you will
Mm.
work on that spreadsheet in a way that you have to enter these values here or paste it. Okay, I'm talking about Excel formulas, stuff like that. It gives
Mhm.
you automated graphs and stuff like that. So you do kind of help them with those kind of things as well, right?
Yeah. Well, what we do is what we call it training needs analysis, or maybe a change impact assessment. What training are we looking at that's going to be needed, or if there is a change, what impact is it going to have on people? So there are two different approaches to that. So depending on what has been identified, some people may need both of those, and some may only need to use one of them. But you do need to document what's going on at the moment and what needs to be going on after that. And we'll also look at, of course, if you've been using a legacy system for a long time, you might have a lot of data on there which is out of date and you don't need anymore. So do you really need to bring all of that across to the new system to, overload it before you've even started using it? That doesn't, that doesn't make sense. So we'll have a conversation about what data you're bringing across and if you need it. So, to do a bit of a data cleanse exercise prior to that.
That makes sense. That makes sense. Oh, I just realized, we exceeded the
Oh,
45-minute mark. All
oh my
right,
gosh, there,
guys.
and Rohit.
Whew.
Rohit's got his hand up.
Yeah.
Aha! Sorry,
Yeah.
Rohit.
So
Yeah.
what we're gonna do is we would be starting Q&A after taking a quick break. I'm gonna play
Mhm.
some song. You can listen to that song. In the meantime, if anybody is interested in coming up, asking questions about Office 365, anything within the specifics of Office 365, any specific app you want to know about, or if you are an organization who wants to transition to Microsoft Office 365, and if you have like a personal question, something which you like to ask in general, please do not hesitate to raise your hand. I will be happy to bring you up and we can go ahead and assist you in answering those questions. So let's take a quick break. I'm thirsty.
Mhm.
I want to drink some water. I'm sure you also feel thirsty. Let's grab some drinks
Yeah, I do.
and pause
Yeah.
for a while, okay? All right, all right.
Mhm.
Let's take a break.
Mhm.
Hey, you know what I came to do? I feel like I'm made for you. Feel like, feel like, feel like, feel like. Hey, you know what I came to do? I feel like I'm made for you. Feel like, feel like, feel like, feel like. Yo, it's like this. Hey, yo, you be my peace, keep me going off the deep end. Looking forward to every part of you like the weekend. Used to have a man, but he was disrespectful. Never met your needs and he made you feel neglectful. Everything's materialistic and yeah, that's probably fine. But what good is everything except quality time? You my favorite instrumental, I'm the verse. On the weekend we don't keep it distant like a work friend. Keep me on the right track, listen I'll be right back. Shorty said she like that, yeah I know she like that. See I believe in soulmates, they say they know me well. I've been loving you for centuries to show and tell. I know that you can tell and listen, use my one and only. Got you a personal shopper, yeah, shout out to Tony. And we gon' keep it moving, listen, we gon' be forever. I just look up in your eyes and I see forever. You know what I came to do? I feel like I'm made for you. Feel like, feel like, feel like, feel like. Hey, you know what I came to do? I feel like I'm made for you.
All right. That was just a random song, guys. May not be the very best. All right. Let's start with Q&A. Felicia, please come up once again. I don't know if I got you down, but please raise your hand. I'll be happy to bring you up once again. Let's welcome Roheet. Thank you so much for your patience. I appreciate you joining this conversation. I just want to let you know that we are recording this conversation. So by you being here, you're giving us consent to move ahead. Do you have a question, or would you like to contribute to this conversation?
Hi, Jason and Sharon. Thanks very much for having me. Really appreciate the insight. Let me know if you can hear me.
Yeah, sounds good.
Okay, brilliant. That's fine. It was mainly to kind of like just offer some sort of experience information. I was just referring back to, and probably Sharon will kind of relate to this as well. The scenario came up with experiencing a new company, which feels like they're kind of like two steps backwards with old software. I work for a legal firm, and prior to the pandemic, every desk had a desktop PC. Other law firms had moved on to laptops, but there was a kind of question of like stagnated in kind of like desktop PCs and non-agile environments. And since then, there's kind of like reasons of why companies don't move on from kind of like moving to kind of like newer software, aka from 2020 March, we were on Windows 7 with Office 2010. Crazy, I know. And we pushed it to the very limit. It's all about kind of like IT will do their best in kind of like recommending, but it's kind of like the equity partners, they kind of need to kind of make that decision, yes or no. And it's always kind of a battle with kind of different departments to kind of ask for approval for something. And it might not necessarily be that they're comfortable, but it's a matter of kind of getting it approved. In this case, in June 2020, we were on a financial platform by Norwell, and we were on that platform for 33 years. And of course, they moved. We went in June 2020. We moved to a live system of 3E. Sharon, I'm sure you're familiar with 3E as it's used widely within the legal sector. But the pandemic now has kind of pushed us to scale up. Never have we, hemorrhaged money enough, but we have to move with time. So we went with from desktop PCs to laptops. We're now Office 365. We're on Azure. We got Intune, and we've gone from very, very old school ways to kind of new school. There's still a lot of work to do, but when we move on to kind of like, why haven't you got this? Why haven't you got that? Companies have very old sort of legacy type hardware and platforms in the background, and it's not a simple case of kind of plug and play. There's kind of stages of change management, and in rotation, there's kind of a whole cycle of this sort of software cycle, system cycle that we have to go through to kind of get it all scaled up. So we're only now kind of going up to Exchange Online for Microsoft Teams to, in time, be incorporated on our Citrix platform. It was just me to kind of like tell that little sort of back history from sort of like old school to kind of like new school. But even though we are new school, there's still a lot of things in the background on the system platform, hardware platform point of view to kind of scale up in readiness for, making the most out of the Office 365 platform. That's what I wanted to say, really. Thanks very much for hearing me out.
Thank you, Roheet. That was absolutely, I completely agree, and I know where you're coming from with that. It's true. They've got a lot of legacy hardware and software that for some reason some people can't let go of, but they do need to scale it up, and it is a case of making that decision and and putting the money towards it to bring your system up to a level that it can take 365, because it's a pretty juicy application. So but it's doing what it's doing, isn't it? It does amazing things, so of course it's going to draw a bit of juice. So and if you want You want
And
to be
as
at the
you know,
forefront.
that
Mm-hmm.
legal love their really complicated document management systems, don't they? So that's kind of like hemorrhages a lot of stuff.
It
And it's
does.
also the line coming in, the telecoms line coming into the building has to handle the new platform together with Zoom and Teams or WebEx or GoToMeeting, all of these kind of different platforms within this virtual platform Citrix. So it has to handle that on sort of like the servers as well. So that's kind of like, what we're scaling up for. So but yeah, 365 is just a one-stop shop, really.
Thanks for that, Roheet, and good luck with it. You need to keep me updated as to how it's going.
I will do. Yeah, absolutely. It's been too long. Okay, I'll be in touch.
Okay.
Thank you very much. Cheers.
Brilliant.
Awesome. All right. Okay, so since we don't have too many people on stage, okay, if anybody is interested in coming up, please raise your hand. I would be happy to bring you up, and you can ask questions related to 365. Okay, now you may not hear many people speaking about Microsoft applications, 365, or things which are included in the 365 ecosystem, because I think organizations expect that we should know how to use these applications, but quite frankly, I don't think many people know. And even if you end up knowing, you might know just a certain version of it, and it may take you time just to upgrade some of your skills to the newer versions of these applications. So if you go ahead, Sharon, you want to say something?
Yeah, I was just gonna. What you're saying there about people don't know. We all can learn stuff. You can Google stuff. You can go on YouTube and learn some things. But my thing about all of this Office 365 is if people don't want to or haven't got the time to learn the bits they need to know, if they have a conversation with me, say, this is what I need to do, Sharon. Okay, I only want to do this, or I want to do this and that. I will look at the applications, look at what they need, do that training needs analysis, and come back to them and say, look, this is what I recommend. You said you want to do this. This application is going to do it for you. It integrates with this application so they can talk to each other and do that. So I'm there to take away the headache out of working out what it is you need to learn and what it is you need to know. Does that make sense? Does that make?
Yeah, I'm getting it. Go on.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So that's what I'm there. I'm the buffer between. This is the application.
You're the cushion in between.
Yeah. I'm a cushion. I'm a cushion in between. So I will soften the blow for you. Let's say it like that. I'm your cushion. Thanks for that, Jason. I like that.
All right, let me ask you some extended questions since we don't have too many people on stage. Okay, when I was reading your bio, you did mention one of your biggest influence and inspiration in your life, Sharon, has been your family and Mildred. Okay, would you mind sharing, like, why, what has your family done to inspire you and influence you, and what has Mildred done specifically to help you out? And guys, if you're wondering who Mildred is actually a common friend of ours. Okay, she's actually the one who recommended Sharon for this interview. Okay, if you want to know more about her, you should be able to find her beautiful picture and her bio or her profile link under the event comments. Go ahead, Sharon.
Okay, so I'm going to start with my family first. My children. I have 2 daughters, and I have 2 grandchildren, and they look up to me, and they are the people that keep me grounded, and the people that let me know that whatever I'm doing, and they have no judgment, I'm doing for the right reasons, whether it's for myself, whether it's for them. But I'm a very I don't say but, however, I'm a very giving person, and I love sharing knowledge and information. And whenever I can do it, even if people don't want to hear me, I'm going to give you some information because I want to share something with you. And whatever I do with this podcast today, with what I want to do in my business, my family are always there to support me. Both close families, I said my daughters, my sister, but also my extended family who live overseas. If ever I'm posting on LinkedIn, or I've posted something on Instagram or wherever, they will always comment and support. So I know they have that, and I know I can go to them and talk to them. If I have any questions to ask about, why I'm doing what I'm doing, is am I doing it right, and things like that. And they're always there to support me. So yeah, they are my biggest my biggest fans, I think, my biggest influences. Before I get on to Mildred, I also have to say that recently I have widened my network of other businesses and networks, and or PR people, marketing, branding people, and all of them. And some of them are on the call today, and some are not, but they know that I have reached out. I'm not a person that asks for help a lot, but I've reached out, and they have supported me and given me all the advice that I ask for, and when I do, and I 120% thank them for that. 120%. Now, getting on to our Mildred, Miss Mildred Talabi, the young lady who introduced Jason and I. We met on LinkedIn, funnily enough, and she taught me a lot of what I know and what I am doing on LinkedIn, and for that I thank Mildred. So if you want to get in touch with her, she's an amazing coach, absolutely amazing. So you can find her on LinkedIn. And we're also introduced to her husband, who is an amazing storyteller. So if you want to know how to tell a story, ask Mildred's husband. Yeah.
That is super cool. I appreciate you sharing that. And I like the fact that your grandchildren are your biggest fan. Your family supporting you it feels so damn good. Just to have them support you.
Yeah.
It just feels just amazing. So if you want to, what kind of what is that one thing you want to be remembered for, Sharon?
The one thing I would
yeah, like let's
okay.
say something happens to you, you're no more, like what do you want the world to say about
to remember me?
Yeah, for would yeah, go ahead.
Something really simple, that I made you smile. It's not about, I make training fun. I'm trying to make IT. Well, I think I make IT, a little bit more interesting than it normally is. I have to say that, because IT can be a boring topic. Let's not beat about the bush here. But I try to make learning fun and exciting. And one of my mantras is, if you're not having a little bit of fun, you're not going to remember what I've been talking about, what information I'm trying to give to you. So enjoy what you're learning, and you'll get more about it. You'll remember stuff. That's it. You remember things there.
That is so cool. Rather than seeing that, rather than saying that, I want to be remembered for the Microsoft Office 365 training expert, you decided to stick with did I make you smile?
Did I make you smile? Come on, you smile at someone. You wake up in the morning, you go out and you get your coffee, or you see someone in the street and you smile at them and they smile back at you. For me, that's a very good start for the day.
Absolutely. I love you for saying that. Thank you so much. We have somebody who has joined our conversation from Saudi Arabia. So Mohammed, thank you so much for joining this conversation. I see that you're joined my podcast for the very first time. I just want to let you know that we are recording this conversation. So please go ahead. Do you have a question, or would you like to contribute to this conversation?
Hi everybody. Hi
Hi,
Jason.
Mohammed.
Hi Rohit. I was
Hello, Mohammed.
just I just enjoying the talk of Sharon
All
the
right. I
way.
just want to make sure that we get the question correctly. Mohammed, would you mind moving to a section where there is a limited, less background noise overall?
Okay,
We can't
okay,
hear you very
because
clearly.
I'm taking my little daughter to the playground. That's why maybe it's quite noisy now. So I want to tell you that as Sharon is saying, teaching IT and teaching Office sometimes is quite boring. So um, the only way to make it more enjoyable and more productive is teaching that with joy and through active coach or I mean master who can teach the skills in a very nice approach for people to get the knowledge of using this powerful Office 365. And the people they would like, I mean, most of the people they would like, I mean, they want to learn those skills, but the problem they are loaded with so many day-to-day activities which make their time is very limited uh, to have some slots for them to learn things properly. So what I'm thinking about, and Sharon might help me in this, to have more, you can say, approaching channels for the people who are in need of those skills, especially for their day-to-day work or business or whatsoever, to approach master users uh, for them, I mean, to have a proper chance of learning. It is a very powerful, amazing feature of this version of Office 365 and then the later one of the Copilot. So I just want to hear from Sharon the, her thought on this, please. Thank you.
Yeah, I personally had a lot of difficulty understanding. Sharon, were you able to get what he said?
Not all of it. I heard co-pilot a bit, and I heard you know, a training, I think, on some of the applications that people wanted to use and how you could get someone to do that easily.
Yeah, I'm not really
That kind
sure.
of
So, Mohammed, what I would recommend.
So Sharon, what I'm saying is that,
mm,
I mean, for people to learn the skills
hmm
of this powerful
Your voice is kind of getting
version.
muffled. Are you on your headphones?
Uh, yes,
There's
yes.
something which is
I'll try
Oh,
to
blocking it.
remove it.
There's something which is blocking
Yeah,
your
yeah.
voice.
I'll try to remove it. Yes, when I see if you
uh-huh, uh-huh.
can try again from my iPhone directly. Let's just give me a second.
Ah,
So,
I wonder,
hear me properly?
Jason,
Can
can
you hear me
Mohammed write it
properly?
in the
Can you hear me properly now?
Yeah,
Can you hear
yeah.
me properly
Let's
now?
try
that
that
sounds
again. Yeah,
better.
Yeah,
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 yeah.
yeah.
Wow.
Sharon.
That's
So
Thank you.
what I'm saying, everybody in need of learning the feature of the Office 365, but the problem, everybody is loaded with so many day-to-day activities that will not allow them to have a quality time to
Right.
learn their skills because these type I mean features and the powerful feature of this system cannot be
hmm
learned at once or twice or something like that. You need to have some training, you say, program or methodology that will allow you to build on your skills based on the basic, then I mean drive it down to the detail of the feature. which will,
Yeah.
or the option of the feature that will allow you to use the, the most of the feature that will
Mm.
make your work easy and your life easy. But the problem, this require having a very good quality time and
Right.
a very skillful, humble
Y-
coach or
I understand. I get you. I get you,
a
Mohammed.
trainer that will give
Hmm, hmm,
the patient
hmm,
and inject the passion on the guy who want to learn it by time, and also
hmm,
design for him or giving him an advice how to put for him a program that he should
hmm.
follow strictly, and whenever he fall in a problems he will immediately communicate with his
Right.
mentor to
Hmm.
gain to learn the skills and to put a path for him to continue exercising those for him, not always updated and using those features that will allow him to use the powerful of this tool.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
That's what I'm
Okay. Okay.
saying.
Okay. I think we understand what
Uh,
you're trying to say. We're kind of in a time
yeah.
crunch, Mohammed. I wanted you to continue expressing and sharing everything, but
Mm,
we're kind of in a time crunch. Okay. So Sharon, would you like
mm.
to
Thank
respond to
you.
that?
Thank you.
What?
Thank you. And I enjoy
What?
the talk and I enjoy the passion of Sharon on teaching and usually teaching in a proper way that's going from go deep down from the heart, always have
What?
its own taste and always having an effect of the people who's learning from the master skills of the coach or
Right. Oh, Mohammed.
the trainer. Thank you.
Okay. What I will say to you, Mohammed, I totally get what you're saying, and the thing is, that's one of the, I suppose, one of the things that I enjoy about my role because it's not, I'm not going to push you. I'm not going to, say, well, you've got to do this or you've got to do that. The training that I deliver, the service that I give is all tailored to you. So whatever I do with your organization is possibly going to be doing with someone else in their organization because you both have different needs. So what I'm going to give you is something tailored. So it's sit down at the table. Well, not literally, maybe because you're not over here. I will sit down on a call with you on Zoom or Teams or whatever, and just discuss what it is you need and when you need it, and we can set it out in a timely fashion so that you take the time that you need to learn the parts of the applications that you need, and we take it slowly and you build on that as you need it. It's not going to say, okay, within 3 months you've got to learn how to do this and this. um, the first thing is you probably won't need this and this. You only read the first two. So it's that is one of my things. It's bespoke training. I will sit with you and talk to you about what it is you want to be able to do and what you need to be able to do, and then make some suggestions as how you can approach it, and we'll have that conversation. That's what it is. You've got to build I've got to build a relationship with you, and find out what you want before I can say yes, you need to do this. So I'm not going to just say yes, you've got to have that applications, all those packages, that's it, and I'm going to run away and leave you. No. Once you've got me in your IT toolkit, I'm there. I hope that makes sense. Makes sense, Mohammed.
To make sense. And it also will be great to know the right spelling of the of Melon, or your common friend between you
Hmm,
and Justin. So to keep them also, to try to have a contact with them also with her.
hmm.
So yeah, to make sure of using of her skill in teaching this great
Yeah.
365. Yeah, thank you.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
Awesome.
Thanks for that.
Awesome. Awesome. Awesome.
Okay.
Awesome.
We got Roheet back.
Yeah. Yeah. So thank you so much, guys. Let's actually do the rapid fire round. And this time I have something interesting lined up for rapid fire. So let me actually play the
Hmm.
sound effect first of all. All right. Now, usually on rapid fire questions, I end up asking some funny questions so that you can get to know my guest a lot more. Okay, this time I decided to do something different. Okay, so in my head, when I was actually trying to make these rapid fire questions, I was like, let's take the most two common applications which Microsoft has. Okay, the first one which came into my mind was Microsoft Word. The second one which came into my mind was Microsoft Excel. Okay, now I said to myself, okay, if okay, if Microsoft Word and Excel got into like this rap battle thing, what would happen? Okay, so it was just an idea. So I start brainstorming on it. So what I decided to do was I decided to reach out to my good friend whom you see down in the audience, Phyllis. Okay, and I spoke to Phyllis. I was like, I have this idea. I have a few bars written down. Okay, what do you think? Okay, so we ended up doing something really, really cool and interesting. So I'm going to actually play a pre recorded rap battle between Microsoft Excel and Microsoft Word. Okay, so be ready for this epic battle. Microsoft Word is being represented by my very good friend Phyllis Williams Trotter, whom you see down in the audience. Okay, the wordsmith supreme. And Microsoft Excel is being represented by Phyllis' daughter Morgan Williams Trotter, the number cruncher. Being the Excel number cruncher. So let's actually hear those tracks, and you guys can actually vote for us online right now on this conversation and tell us which one you like the most. Okay, Phyllis, I would encourage you to please come on stage because we would definitely need you and a few giggles while we do this thing. So please raise your hand. I would be happy to bring you up while I play the recording. Okay, guys, hear this out.
Yo! I'm Microsoft Word, the wordsmith supreme with sleek fonts and style. I'm the writer's dream. I'm the master of docs, the queen of type. My formatting game is always on hypes, cause in every writing battle I make pages fall. Precision and excellence is how I ball. From memos to essays to scripts for short, got your grammar on lock and your columns on. So step back, Excel, you can't compete with me. I'm the baddest word player that could ever be. With spell check and grammar, I'm never wrong. And in this rap game, I wrote a better song. Yes.
Hey yo, it's Microsoft Excel. I'm the number cruncher and I slice through data like I'm a true hustler. Spreadsheets and formulas, that's my domain. With pivot tables and charts, you know I reign. I calculate with ease, yeah, that's no doubt. From your bands to your stats, you know I get my clout. Analyzing all the trends, that's my claim to fame. In the data-driven world, yeah, I own the game. Word, you got style, I won't deny. But in this rap battle, I'll amplify. Data insights, I'll stand up and take the lead. Excel's the king, cause I got what you need.
Amazing. Phyllis, I have to say, and your daughter Morgan, thank you so much. You have no idea how I feel at the moment. I am elated. That was amazing. Jason, thank you for coming up with that.
Yeah, I think it was a nice idea. Okay, let's actually hear people vote. Personally, I like both of them and the way they rap. Both of them have their unique style. So Excel and Word, both of them win according to me. But if you ask me to choose my favorite, I would definitely hands on go with Phyllis because she is a rock star to me. So for me, Phyllis is the winner. Okay, so people who are interested in voting. Okay, so if you like what you heard by Phyllis, okay, please raise your hand. Okay, we got 10 listeners. Okay, 10 listeners who are listening, and people who are actually on stage. You can just vote by just saying. So, Rohit, whom would you like to vote for, Phyllis or Morgan?
So for me, both were really good, and I kind of took it back to kind of like what these are applications where formulas and stuff in Excel, I'm really rubbish with. But would I favor Word? These two reps have made both of these sound cool. And things aren't boring, but these have made them sound cool. And it's really hard. I can't choose one. I just think it's made Excel and Word sound cool. But if I was going for familiarity with the wordplay and stuff, I don't know, man. Ah, you know
On the
what?
spot,
Equally, I'm
Rohit.
with Jason. Jason, I'm with you, right? Jason, I'm with you. They're both winners.
They're
They're
both
both
winners.
winners. And I have to narrow this down to what I'm comfortable with. I'm comfortable with the easiest kid on the block, which is Word. Because I'm worse at Excel. But I've got to step my game up with Excel because the rap made it sound really appealing.
All right. So
Well
let's
done, both of you, though. Brilliant raps.
let's hear from Mohammed. I did not see a lot of raise of hands, just one. Jeremy was the only person who raised their hand, but it's okay. It's okay. We get the idea.
Mhm.
So Mohammed, did you like both of them or no? Or anyone in
Yeah, I
specific?
do. I do. Amazing, amazing. By now, but since I'm in supply chain and we are always relying on figures and we are using a lot of Excel, yeah, I'll go with Phyllis. I'll go with
Mhm.
Phyllis. Yeah,
Oh,
but an amazing and a good idea and a good work of both of them. Thank you, Jason, for
yeah,
this.
you're welcome. Thank you so much, Mohammed. So I appreciate you guys listening to us and thank you so much. We had a very small period of time to make this happen. I stay in India, in Mumbai, very far away. Phyllis, they are in the US. We had a very difficult time just recording the whole thing. I tried doing this online virtually. It did not work out. Okay, then she had to actually do the whole recording by herself, and then the file was sent to me. Obviously we didn't have the 365, the whole cloud ecosystem, so we were manually exchanging this on WhatsApp back and forth, and I edited this on Adobe Premiere Pro. Okay, made a little twist, a little changes to the audio, and that's what the end thing is. If you're interested in getting like an audio clip of this, please do not hesitate to reach out to me. I have the lyrics. The lyrics were fine tuned by Phyllis and her daughter. So please reach out to me. I would be happy to share it. When you do share this on social media, I would highly, highly encourage you to please tag Sharon, because this is her show. And please do not forget to tag Phyllis as well as her daughter, because you need to give credit to those individuals who worked hard. Now, before we wrap up today's session, okay, I want to give you the opportunity to, promote your business. Tell us what do you offer as a business owner. I think your company name is SG Web Crafts.co.uk. The company website and other social handles are being listed on the event details and even on the event description. If you do want to reach out to Sharon, I would highly encourage you to do that. So, is there anything you'd like to promote on my show, Sharon, about your company and what you aim to do and how you can help people out?
Um, wow. Yeah. I'd just say, reach out to me if you want someone to talk to, a human being, and not one human being to another human being about what you want to do with your company, then just reach out to me on LinkedIn, or you can go to my website, which is www.sgwebcraft.co.uk. As Jason said, the information's all there on the link that was sent out. To have a conversation with me, a 30-minute conversation, is not going to cost you anything. So just come and talk to me, and let's see if I can help you. That's first. I don't need to sell you anything. Let's have a conversation and see if I can help. I might not be the person to help you, but book some time with me, or DM me, and I'll send you my calendar link, and we can have a conversation. Beyond that, on my website, you'll see number and contact details there if you want to message me or get in contact with me after this session. If you want to have a think about it, by all means do that. What I will say though is it's my birthday in September, so I'm feeling kind of generous. So if when we have that conversation, we decide what you need, and we're discussing it. I am going to give you a 10% discount on whatever we agree, depending on the package that you want to book, whether it's just a basic package. Show me where I need to buy, what application I need to buy, what package I need to get for the Office 365 suite, or if you want some training on a particular, you want bespoke training, let me say that, on a particular application, say Excel, you want to know how to use it to do what you need to do, not what Joe Blogs and Alice down the road want to do. You want to know how to use it for you. I can create some bespoke training sessions for you for that. So let me know. We can have a conversation, and then if you book at any point in the month of September, which is my birthday month, you will get a 10% discount.
Okay, you mean from now till September, right?
Now until, actually, you know what? Now until the end, book it between now and the end of September, but you can actually use it by between now and the end of October.
That is super cool. That is super cool. Do you have any sort of a geographical limitation about what kind of individuals from which part of the world are reaching out to you for assistance? Would that be a hiccup since you are in the UK?
Not at all. I've worked all over the world. Well, not all of it, most of it. I was in Doha many years ago when I worked for a legal firm. I was in Dubai and Oman for a little bit as well. So that's not a problem at all. I've actually done some training with some people in Australia at one time. So that was an interesting one because it was very early in the morning for me. So no, we can work it out because I know that there are people out there who need and want my services. So I will make myself as available as I can.
Absolutely. I want to highlight and emphasize on the bespoke service. Sometimes organizations do end up developing softwares, okay, and sometimes you might need an extra hand so that you can educate and train people about those softwares. I think, Sharon, you also do help in training, first of all, learning the software by yourself, and also creating training courses or materials which they can, as organization, can share with their team members so that they can train them about this application. You also do that. So this is outside Microsoft, but that is also something which you do, correct?
Yeah, so you're talking, paper guides, we're talking, videos, as well as the actual training sessions, but all of those will be bespoke to, the organization or the individual that requires the service. Yeah.
I kind of, asked Sharon this question the first time I did this pre-call with her. I was like, Sharon, why would people pay you X amount of dollars when they can actually learn this stuff for free online on YouTube? Like, why would they hire you, pay this fees to train you? And the answer was pretty simple. And Sharon, correct me if I'm saying it wrong. And she was like, bespoke service, because you would not be able to find stuff easily which is very, very relevant to your needs. And that's where I come into place. I help you to make this very bespoke, up to your organization, your goals, and customize it in a way that fully benefits you. And that's why I come into the equation. You don't get this information easily online. Am I right saying, am I using the right word, Sharon, to present what you just said? Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah, 100%. It's not out. What I do is not out there. I mean, I can do what's out there, but that doesn't benefit the client, and it doesn't excite me. I like to, break things apart, make them, why they're working like that. No, I don't want it to work like that. I want to use it like this. So that's what I'm about. So no, it's not, what I do is not on YouTube or anywhere like that. This is your training. This is your learning. This is yours. It's not, as I said, it's not Fred or Alice's or Jim's, up the road. It isn't. This is you.
That is super cool. If you could leave my listeners with one thing they can take away from this whole conversation, what would that be?
You're never too old to learn. And in addition to that, you're never too old to learn. You're never too old to learn from anyone of any age. So don't think that because someone is, years younger than you or years older than you, they don't know, they don't understand. I'm learning from my grandchildren and other children all the time. It's amazing how pure their thinking and clear their thinking. And it's something that I think we lose as adults. As we get older, we get to a point where we think we know it all. So we don't need to learn anymore.
Yeah, that's a really cool lesson. But keep your ego aside, keep your attitude aside. Even if you have an attitude, have a positive attitude. And learning is a never-ending process. You learn from people,
100%.
Younger, older, whoever it is. But if it's knowledge, what's the harm? All right. So let's actually move ahead and let's wrap this conversation for today. I want to just make a quick announcement for the next week's show. This is not the exclusive interview I was talking about. The exclusive interview is on August 16th. The next week's show is August the 2nd. I'm going to be speaking to Michaela Quilici, who is also another friend, a close friend of me and Mildred. And we are speaking about the 5 must-have personality traits for a thriving, to thrive in business. Okay, you know what? Did I mess up the title? 5 must-have personalities for thriving in business. No, the title is okay. Okay. All right, so that's the topic on LinkedIn Audio, August 2nd, 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Okay, she's an accomplished international business growth coach and award-winning marketing strategist. Michaela will share her insights on those 5 traits. We'll go each trait at a time, dissect it, give you all those insights which you require so that as an entrepreneur, as a business owner, you get the very best out of that conversation. So if you are interested in tuning into that conversation, you can RSVP for both the events, the exclusive one and even the one with Michaela. Both of them are listed on the event comments for this specific conversation which we're having. If you're unable to find it, please do not hesitate to reach out to me. I do have a mailing list, so if you want to get regular updates about my upcoming shows, DM me the word newsletter and I should be able to add you to that mailing list. I don't spam, I don't send out too many emails, just details about my show or maybe some of the services which are ongoing with my business. That's about it, nothing major. Okay, do you have anything else you like to share with my audience, Sharon, before we say goodbye to one another?
I'd just like to say thank you to everybody who has attended and is still listening to me. I really, really appreciate you doing that. And once again, thank you to my crew, Phyllis and Morgan, for doing those raps. I'm gonna need to patent that because I need to use it when I'm training any of those sessions.
I think she has to get paid.
Just run it.
Phyllis will be like, bring me the moolah.
I knew you first, Mildred. I got your autograph first, okay, Phyllis. And I know you first, so I'm at the front of the line. But no, really, thank you, Jason, for putting this together. Thank you for everyone for taking part. Those who asked questions. Roheet, nice to see you and speak to you again. I appreciate it.
No worries. Yeah. All right, catch up soon. All the best, everyone. Take care.
Yeah, thank you.
Bye-bye.
All right, guys, thank you so much. Please take care of yourself. Have a lovely morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you're in the world. Thank you so much for the heart emojis. Take care of yourself. Have an amazing day.